Throughout the annals of history, the most astute and insightful minds have grasped a single, deeply significant truth: your mind serves as the master architect of your destiny. It meticulously crafts your beliefs, purposefully directs your actions, and ultimately determines whether you encounter resounding success or succumb to crushing defeat. Nevertheless, a multitude of us barely explore the outer edges of our inherent mental capacity. We inadvertently allow uncertainties, deeply ingrained limiting beliefs, and unseen, often irrational fears to impede our personal and professional growth. But consider this: what if there existed a proven methodology, a reliable pathway, to liberate ourselves completely from these restrictive mental chains? The esteemed Stoic philosopher, Epictetus, a beacon of wisdom from ancient times, profoundly taught us that our suffering does not originate from the actual events that unfold in our lives. Instead, it stems directly from our subjective judgment and interpretation of those very events. We frequently perceive ourselves as being restrained, not by the tangible hurdles presented by the external world, but rather by the intangible barriers that we, often unconsciously, construct within the intricate landscapes of our own minds. Now, contemplate this compelling question: what if you possessed the ability to fundamentally rewire your ingrained patterns of thinking, thereby unlocking an entirely new and expansive realm of previously unimagined possibilities? In this video presentation, we are poised to delve into a series of powerful, highly actionable, and remarkably effective strategies. These strategies are specifically designed to assist you in unleashing the vast, latent power that resides within your mind. This process has the potential to irrevocably alter the trajectory of your life, guiding you toward a future brimming with potential and fulfillment. If you are truly prepared, with unwavering resolve, to embark on this profoundly transformative journey of self-discovery and mental empowerment, then take a moment to declare your readiness by typing "I'm ready" in the comments section below. Let us then commence this exciting and enlightening expedition together, step by step. It is exceptionally easy, almost deceptively so, to become ensnared and utterly consumed by the relentless quest for an elusive and often unattainable state of absolute perfection. This pursuit, while seemingly noble, can ironically become a significant obstacle to genuine progress and lasting happiness. We frequently impose upon ourselves standards of such towering height that they become almost unattainable, fostering the belief that absolute flawlessness is a prerequisite for deeming anything a success. However, let us pause for a moment to re-evaluate this particular frame of mind. Ponder, if you will, the exponential increase in your potential accomplishments should you consciously decide to reorient your focus, diverting it from the relentless pursuit of perfection towards the more attainable and rewarding endeavor of simply making progress. This is precisely where the profound wisdom inherent in the philosophy of Stoicism truly illuminates our path. Stoicism eloquently teaches us to assign greater intrinsic value to the journey itself, and to the invaluable lessons gleaned along the way, than to the mere attainment of the final outcome. Stoicism serves as a constant reminder that our dominion over external events, those happenings that transpire outside of our direct control, is inherently limited. Nevertheless, it emphasizes that our control over our own internal reactions, our responses to these external stimuli, and our unwavering dedication to self-improvement are the fertile grounds where true personal growth flourishes and blossoms. Consequently, instead of succumbing to the self-deprecating practice of berating yourself for perceived imperfections and failures to achieve some mythical standard of perfection, what if, instead, you chose to wholeheartedly celebrate each incremental, albeit small, step forward along your chosen path? The essence of this perspective lies in cultivating a deep appreciation for the fact that every single attempt, every minor improvement, every seemingly insignificant adjustment, is, in reality, an integral and indispensable component of a much grander and more expansive journey towards the ultimate destination of excellence. This pragmatic and constructive approach not only provides a significant boost to your overall morale and sense of self-efficacy, but also serves to keep you fully engaged and invested in your pursuits, thereby substantially reducing the likelihood of succumbing to discouragement and ultimately abandoning your aspirations. To illustrate this point, consider, for a moment, the meticulous and painstaking manner in which a sculptor approaches the task of transforming a raw and unformed piece of marble into a breathtaking work of art. They do not, by any stretch of the imagination, commence their work with a pre-existing, fully formed, and inherently perfect statue. Instead, they patiently and deliberately chip away at the marble, bit by meticulous bit, with each carefully placed strike of the chisel making a vital contribution to the creation of the ultimate, awe-inspiring masterpiece that will eventually emerge. Thus, it is the culmination of countless small acts of progress that ultimately leads to the realization of a grand and ambitious vision. Every minuscule alteration constitutes forward movement, and each fragment of superfluous material that is carefully chipped away unveils a slightly more defined aspect of the ultimate design. Should a sculptor's attention be solely fixated on the flawless culmination of their work, the sheer magnitude of the undertaking could understandably appear insurmountable. However, by concentrating one's efforts on each modest, individual action, consistent advancement and personal development become achievable. In the context of our individual existences, embracing this particular philosophy translates into the establishment of sensible, gradual objectives. It is crucial to deconstruct more ambitious targets into more easily handled assignments, and to acknowledge and commend the successful conclusion of each individual stage. This methodology significantly mitigates the feeling of being overwhelmed, which frequently accompanies large-scale projects, and effectively serves as a deterrent against the inertia that perfectionism is often responsible for inducing. Let us not forget the wise counsel offered by Epictetus, who posited that it is not the events that transpire in our lives that truly define us, but rather the manner in which we elect to respond to those events. By deliberately choosing to focus on progression, we are, in effect, selecting to react in an affirmative manner to our own dedicated endeavors, thereby cultivating a durable and highly adaptable frame of mind. Therefore, it is imperative to relinquish the unfounded belief that absolute flawlessness is a prerequisite for experiencing the sensation of accomplishment. Embrace each incremental step of progress, irrespective of how seemingly insignificant it may appear, and observe with anticipation as these cumulative efforts gradually coalesce into genuinely substantial and transformative change. This perspective not only makes goals more attainable but also cultivates a positive and empowering approach to self-improvement. Here is the optimized version of the provided text, adhering to all specified requirements. The core tenet of embracing a Stoic existence resides in discovering inherent worth and fostering personal development throughout the journey, rather than solely fixating on achieving a flawless final outcome. By purposefully reorienting your attention in this manner, your endeavors will not only appear significantly more attainable, but you will also uncover a heightened sense of gratification and sustained impetus in the very essence of your actions. This shift in perspective can dramatically alter your relationship with work, transforming it from a burden into a source of profound fulfillment. In contemporary times, there exists something genuinely revolutionary regarding the opportunity to glean wisdom from an individual who has previously traversed the path you now embark upon. Mentorship transcends the mere assimilation of knowledge or the acquisition of skills. It encompasses the profound experience of undergoing a personal metamorphosis, one that frequently originates from the invaluable insights and astute direction provided by a seasoned advisor. This profound connection has the potential to serve as a potent catalyst for exponential growth, propelling you beyond the boundaries of your perceived limitations and simultaneously broadening your comprehension of the realm of possibilities that lie before you. Indeed, the impact of a skilled mentor is immeasurable, shaping not only your capabilities but also your very perception of yourself. Within the domain of Stoicism, the fundamental role of a mentor is to meticulously demonstrate how to conduct one's life in accordance with the principles of virtue and practical wisdom, mirroring the formative experiences of Seneca, who diligently learned from his esteemed teachers, and Marcus Aurelius, who likewise benefited from the guidance of his own mentors. Consequently, having a mentor signifies possessing an individual who embodies and reflects the very values and self-disciplines that you earnestly aspire to personify. The mentor then serves as a beacon, illuminating the path toward a more virtuous and meaningful life. Therefore, the presence of a mentor becomes an invaluable asset in the pursuit of Stoic ideals, offering both guidance and inspiration along the way. It is absolutely crucial to understand that the value of mentorship isn't merely confined to the acquisition of knowledge. Its true essence lies in the practical application of that knowledge to the tapestry of our lives. A mentor steps in as a beacon, illuminating the path with context and clarity, skillfully guiding you through the labyrinth of challenges. They demonstrate precisely how to effectively implement Stoic principles, such as unwavering focus, unwavering discipline, and indomitable resilience, in the everyday circumstances that shape our existence. Consider this compelling scenario: when confronted with a particularly difficult decision, a crossroads in your life's journey, or a significant career transition, having a mentor to whom you can turn can literally make all the difference in the world. They provide a valuable sounding board, an experienced ear that listens attentively, drawing upon their own personal experiences to offer sage advice and insightful perspectives. Quite often, they possess the remarkable ability to discern potential within us, potential that we, in our own self-doubt, might completely overlook. These mentors gently, yet firmly, nudge us beyond the confines of our comfort zones, propelling us into new and exciting challenges that serve to refine our character, hone our skills, and ultimately, expand our capabilities. This type of guidance is truly invaluable, primarily because it transcends mere theoretical concepts. It is firmly rooted in the practical, real-world application of wisdom and experience. Furthermore, the profound impact of a mentor extends far beyond the provision of specific advice pertaining to individual and discrete challenges. They play a pivotal role in shaping the very fabric of your thought processes, enhancing your perception of obstacles, and fostering within you an unwavering commitment to act with both integrity and a strong sense of purpose. The narratives they share, the stories of their own triumphs and tribulations, transform into invaluable lessons in both resilience and persistence. Through their experiences, they teach you not merely how to survive the inevitable trials and tribulations that life throws your way, but, more importantly, how to thrive, flourish, and emerge stronger on the other side. Thus, mentorship isn't just about weathering the storm, it's about learning how to dance in the rain. Stoicism, that ancient philosophy, imparts a profound truth: it is not the circumstances we encounter in our lives that truly shape us, but rather our individual reactions to them. Therefore, cultivating a wise and considered response is paramount. A skilled mentor can prove invaluable in this endeavor, guiding you to develop reactions that are measured, deeply thoughtful, and consistently aligned with your most cherished values. But the question arises: how does one actually locate such a mentor, someone capable of providing this invaluable guidance? The initial step involves identifying the specific qualities you genuinely admire. Then, actively seek out individuals who demonstrably embody these attributes. This search might lead you within your existing professional network, perhaps uncovering a potential mentor among your colleagues or superiors. Alternatively, you could explore your wider community, attending events and engaging with people from diverse backgrounds. Indeed, inspiration and guidance can even be found within the pages of books. The authors whose works have profoundly impacted your life might, in a sense, serve as mentors from afar. Once you have identified potential mentors, take the initiative to reach out. Initiate contact, pose thoughtful questions, and express your sincere admiration for the path they have chosen and the successes they have achieved. It is crucial to remember that a truly effective mentorship is built upon a foundation of mutual benefit. The relationship should be grounded in genuine respect and a shared aspiration for personal and professional growth. A thriving mentorship is a two-way street, where both parties contribute and learn from one another. Furthermore, navigating through life burdened with unresolved emotional baggage can be likened to attempting to complete a marathon while carrying a heavy backpack. This additional weight inevitably slows you down and renders the already challenging journey far more exhausting than it inherently needs to be. We all, to varying degrees, carry these invisible burdens. They might manifest as lingering regrets over past decisions, unresolved conflicts that continue to fester, or deep-seated fears stemming from prior experiences. Actively addressing this emotional weight is not simply about lightening your load, it is about more than just feeling better. By confronting and processing these burdens, you actively open up a pathway to a more fulfilling, liberated, and ultimately, more joyful existence. Stoicism, with its emphasis on self-control and acceptance, offers a particularly powerful perspective on this matter. It provides a framework for understanding and managing our emotions, enabling us to navigate life's challenges with greater resilience and inner peace. The essence of Stoicism imparts a profound lesson. It is not the past occurrences themselves, but rather our individual interpretations of them that mold our present emotional landscape. Envision, if you will, the possibility of examining a bygone event, not as an indelible mark of pain, but as an invaluable learning experience, possessing the inherent capacity to fortify and improve your very being. Stoics maintain their focus steadfastly on the present moment, concentrating their efforts on those aspects within their sphere of influence, namely, our attitudes and reactions. They champion the objective observation of our emotions, striving to comprehend their genesis, and subsequently, making a conscious, deliberate decision to prevent them from governing our actions in the here and now. This philosophy, therefore, offers a path to emotional liberation. Consequently, the question arises, how does one embark upon the intricate process of unpacking and meticulously sorting through this accumulation of emotional baggage? The journey commences with introspection, a period of deep reflection upon those feelings that are impeding your progress, accompanied by a rigorous self-examination, asking yourself, why do these emotions hold such sway? Are these deeply rooted feelings grounded in the current reality that surrounds you, or are they merely lingering specters, shadows cast by the past that continue to loom ominously over your present existence? This considered reflective practice is decidedly not about suppressing your emotions, but rather about attaining a profound understanding of them, thereby empowering you to manage them effectively. The simple act of acknowledging your feelings constitutes the crucial initial step towards assuming dominion over them, rather than allowing them to hold sway over you, dictating your thoughts and actions. Subsequently, it becomes vitally important to cultivate the practice of forgiveness, extending this grace both to others who may have wronged you and, perhaps even more importantly, to yourself. This act of self-forgiveness can be incredibly transformative. The path to forgiveness, while often fraught with difficulty, particularly when deep wounds are involved, ultimately proves to be a source of profound liberation. It is important to clarify that extending forgiveness does not equate to condoning wrongful actions or erasing events from memory. Instead, it signifies the act of freeing oneself from the heavy weight of resentment. Consider the wisdom of Epictetus, who aptly stated that it is not the events themselves that define us, but rather our reactions to them that truly matter. Forgiveness, therefore, is not about rewriting history. It is about ensuring that the past no longer holds dominion over our future trajectory. This act of releasing negativity can feel incredibly empowering. Furthermore, cultivating resilience through the reframing of your personal narrative represents another crucial and practical step. Rather than perceiving past experiences as solely negative, endeavor to identify the strength or wisdom that each experience has imparted. This approach does not diminish the pain that you may have felt, but it empowers you to take ownership of how these experiences will influence you moving forward. It acknowledges the reality that while the past remains unchangeable, you retain the power to choose the narrative you construct around it. Thus, you are actively shaping your perception and reaction. Dealing with emotional baggage is best understood as an ongoing process, demanding sustained effort and attention. It is not a singular, one-time event of cleansing, but rather a continuous journey of self-awareness, adjustment, and acceptance. Consequently, one must embrace the idea of regularly revisiting and processing past experiences to prevent them from accumulating and hindering personal growth. Through consistent self-reflection and adaptation, one can navigate the complexities of emotional baggage with greater ease and resilience. Therefore, it is a journey of constant refinement. Embarking on journeys of self-discovery through practices like meditation, journaling, or engaging in therapeutic dialogues can furnish invaluable supportive structures as you navigate the intricate landscapes of your emotions. These thoughtfully curated instruments can assist in forging a sanctuary of serenity and lucidity, within which you can meticulously process your feelings and, subsequently, progress towards emotional well-being. Thus, these practices are not merely activities, but rather powerful allies in your emotional journey. Envision, if you will, the possibility of planting a seed of thought within the fertile ground of your mind, a seed that burgeons into a formidable belief, meticulously sculpting your actions and, in the grand tapestry of life, ultimately defining your very destiny. This concept transcends the realm of mere whimsical fancy. It encapsulates the very quintessence of harnessing the power of repetition and visualization, two remarkably potent implements capable of, quite literally, rewiring the intricate neural pathways of your brain and meticulously setting the stage for the triumphant attainment of your most cherished goals. It's fundamentally about crafting a vivid mental blueprint, a meticulously detailed architectural plan of the destination you aspire to reach, and then diligently reinforcing that compelling vision until it seamlessly integrates into the very fabric of your being, becoming an inseparable component of your identity. Therefore, by continually nurturing these positive mental images, you actively shape your future. Stoicism, that ancient and profound philosophy, sagaciously instructs us that we invariably transform into the embodiment of that which dominates our thoughts. The esteemed Marcus Aurelius, a beacon of Stoic wisdom, frequently penned reflections on the paramount importance of consciously directing your mental energies towards the objects of your deepest desires, rather than succumbing to the paralyzing grip of fear. By assiduously visualizing your impending triumph and repeatedly intoning positive affirmations, you can gradually begin to perceive these formerly elusive outcomes not merely as possibilities lingering on the horizon, but as inevitable certainties, inexorably drawing closer. Consequently, through consistent positive reinforcement, you pave the way for your own success. The impact of these practices is truly transformative. This exercise transcends mere optimistic dreaming. It represents a deliberate, methodical approach to train your mind to both identify and actively follow routes that lead to accomplishment. It's about proactive mental conditioning for success. Let's delve further into the practical applications of these techniques to maximize their effectiveness. We'll begin with visualization, a powerful tool for mental preparation. Imagine yourself realizing your objectives with compelling clarity and rich detail. What specifically does this achievement look like? What actions are you undertaking to achieve this goal? Who is present with you, sharing in this triumph? Critically, how do you feel as you experience this success? Engaging as many of your senses as possible during this mental exercise significantly amplifies its realism and potency. This kind of mental rehearsal effectively primes your brain. Consequently, it becomes more adept at recognizing and seizing opportunities that resonate with your established goals. This process makes it as though you have already successfully navigated the path and are simply retracing your steps with increased confidence and awareness. In conjunction with visualization, incorporate the principle of repetition. This is where the strategic use of affirmations becomes invaluable. Select a collection of positive statements, framed in the present tense, that consistently reinforce your inherent abilities and unrealized potential. Consider employing powerful and evocative phrases such as, "I am inherently capable," "I am undeniably worthy of success," or "I consistently succeed in my endeavors." These affirmations serve as potent and constant reminders of your intrinsic worth and the vast potential that resides within you. Repeat these affirmations daily, preferably vocalizing them aloud, to dramatically amplify their impact and ingrain them more deeply within your subconscious. Thus, this reinforcement will propel you toward your goals. The incessant act of repetition serves a dual purpose. It not only elevates your self-esteem but also effectively neutralizes any detrimental or self-imposed limitations that could potentially undermine your advancement. Therefore, by consistently affirming your capabilities, you fortify your confidence and dismantle internal obstacles. Incorporating these powerful techniques into your everyday existence can yield truly revolutionary results. For instance, consider weaving visualization into the fabric of your morning or evening rituals, thereby setting a positive tone for the day ahead or reflecting on accomplishments before rest. Furthermore, strategically intersperse moments for your affirmations throughout the course of the day. Perhaps utilize the otherwise mundane commute to work or the invigorating period of exercise as opportunities to reinforce your desired beliefs. Over an extended period, these methodologies will not only fundamentally alter your cognitive processes but also reshape your behavioral patterns. As your brain and body gradually synchronize with the novel reality you are diligently constructing, you will witness a profound shift in your actions and reactions. This alignment between thought and action is crucial for manifesting your aspirations. It is vital to remember that the Stoics, renowned for their wisdom and resilience, placed immense emphasis on the principles of consistent practice and unwavering dedication. They did not merely contemplate abstract philosophical notions, instead, they embodied these principles in their daily lives through diligent practice. Epictetus, a prominent Stoic philosopher, frequently articulated that just as a musician dedicates themselves to rigorous practice in order to perfect their artistic expression, a philosopher commits themselves to persistent practice in order to refine their inner self. In your own journey, envision repetition and visualization as your indispensable daily exercises, serving as tools for meticulously refining your mindset and artfully sculpting the future you aspire to inhabit. By embracing this perspective, you actively participate in shaping your destiny. Through the consistent and deliberate practice of visualizing your desired success and subsequently reinforcing it with repeated affirmations, you transcend the realm of mere dreaming about the future. Instead, you actively engage in the tangible construction of that future, laying the groundwork for its eventual realization. Therefore, embrace these tools with enthusiasm and dedication. It transcends mere aspiration, it's about constructing a tangible mental and emotional bedrock. This foundation then directs your choices and behaviors, steering you towards the life you aspire to lead. Life relentlessly presents us with difficulties, and our reactions to these obstacles profoundly influence the course of our existence. Among the most potent instruments for not merely enduring but flourishing amidst these challenges is the practice of continuous learning. It involves maintaining an active, inquisitive, and receptive mind, open to novel experiences and information. This, in turn, fosters resilience and furnishes you with fresh skills and knowledge to confront life's hurdles. The Stoics, in particular, were deeply enamored with the concept of lifelong learning, underscoring that wisdom emanates from a persistent quest for knowledge and self-improvement. Seneca, the renowned philosopher, famously articulated, "As long as you live, keep learning how to live." He firmly believed that learning was fundamentally intertwined with personal resilience, as it fortifies the mind and readies it to grapple with the complexities inherent in life. This profound philosophy resonates even more profoundly in today's world than ever before. The environment we inhabit is in perpetual flux, and consequently, adapting through learning is indispensable for sustaining both personal and professional relevance. Embracing this philosophy enables us to not only navigate the turbulent waters of change but also to harness the opportunities that arise from it. Therefore, the crucial question arises: how do you seamlessly integrate continuous learning into your life in a manner that genuinely cultivates resilience? How can you effectively transform this powerful concept into a practical and sustainable habit that empowers you to overcome adversity and thrive in the face of challenges? The answer lies in adopting a proactive and intentional approach to learning, embracing new experiences, and actively seeking knowledge that expands your horizons and strengthens your ability to adapt and overcome. To begin with, nurture a particular way of thinking. Cultivate a mindset that perceives difficulties not as hindrances to circumvent, but rather as golden opportunities for personal and professional growth. When faced with a novel or perplexing situation, resist the urge to retreat. Instead, embrace it with open-minded curiosity. Pose thoughtful inquiries, actively seek out valuable resources, and make a conscious effort to comprehend the situation from a variety of viewpoints. This proactive methodology not only significantly expands your overall understanding of the world, but also effectively diminishes the apprehension and unease that frequently accompany unfamiliar or unknown circumstances. Therefore, by actively seeking understanding, you transform potential stressors into stimulating learning experiences. Subsequently, and just as importantly, deliberately allocate dedicated time for focused learning and skill development. This does not necessarily necessitate returning to formal educational institutions or undergoing intensive training programs, although these avenues can certainly prove to be exceptionally beneficial. Learning can be as straightforward as immersing yourself in the pages of insightful books, regularly listening to thought-provoking podcasts, attending engaging workshops or seminars, or even participating in stimulating and insightful conversations with trusted peers or experienced mentors. The most crucial element here is unwavering consistency. Make learning an integral and habitual aspect of your daily or weekly routine, treating it with the same level of importance and dedication that you would devote to physical exercise for maintaining optimal physical well-being. In this way, continual learning becomes a sustainable and rewarding practice. Furthermore, and to truly cement your understanding and accelerate your progress, actively apply the knowledge and insights you acquire in practical, authentic, real-world scenarios and situations. This hands-on application serves to solidify the learning process, transforming theoretical knowledge into tangible skills and competencies. Furthermore, it provides you with an invaluable opportunity to experiment with diverse approaches, refine your overall understanding through trial and error, and ultimately develop a deeper and more nuanced grasp of the subject matter. Consequently, by putting your knowledge into action, you not only enhance your skills but also reinforce your commitment to continuous improvement and lifelong learning. To merely peruse texts on negotiation strategies or leadership tenets is one endeavor. However, to genuinely employ them within the dynamic setting of a meeting or to effectively steer a project team is quite another. The pragmatic implementation in the real world not only consolidates the acquired knowledge but, more significantly, elevates your self-assurance in your capacity to adeptly manage analogous circumstances in the times ahead. Thus, active participation is paramount. Furthermore, it is crucial to dedicate time to contemplate your learning trajectory on a consistent basis. Reflection empowers you to acknowledge your personal development, comprehend which methodologies yield the most favorable outcomes for your unique learning style, and pinpoint specific domains in which you necessitate additional enhancement. Consequently, it stands as an indispensable facet of the learning process, one that the Stoics, the ancient philosophers, diligently embrace. They frequently scrutinize their deeds and contemplation at the culmination of each day, meticulously evaluating their advancement and their concordance with Stoic doctrines. This thoughtful process reinforces their commitment to self-improvement. It represents a widespread pitfall to indefinitely postpone the commencement of something of significance, awaiting the ostensibly flawless juncture. We frequently harbor the notion that we require optimal circumstances, impeccable timing, or a comprehensive inventory of skills before we can even embark on the endeavor. But let us be candid, the concept of the perfect moment exists merely as a fabrication, it perpetually remains elusive. What does, however, materialize is the prospect of initiating action, albeit in an imperfect manner. Therefore, seize the opportunity, even if you feel unprepared. This methodology transcends mere activity, it embodies the essence of acquiring knowledge through practical application. It's about actively engaging with the material and learning from the experience. In consequence, this pragmatic approach fosters a deeper understanding and accelerates the learning curve. This is not simply about getting things done, it's about becoming more proficient through experience. This approach is not just about doing, it's about learning through doing, and therefore growing. The Stoics, those ancient philosophers renowned for their practicality, were ardent advocates for action. They firmly believed that virtue and true wisdom aren't merely abstract concepts to be contemplated in solitude. Instead, These qualities are vividly displayed through our conduct, through the choices we make, and the deeds we perform. As the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius eloquently stated, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." This powerful exhortation serves as a potent reminder that genuine advancement, real tangible progress, stems directly from doing, from active engagement, rather than simply meticulously planning or endlessly theorizing. When you actively begin translating your carefully laid plans into concrete action, you purposefully step into a dynamic stream of immersive experiences. These experiences, in turn, become invaluable teachers, imparting profound lessons that no amount of theoretical learning, no matter how rigorous or extensive, could ever possibly replicate. Therefore, the question naturally arises, how does one effectively transition from the realm of meticulous planning to the tangible world of decisive action? Firstly, and perhaps most crucially, begin by diligently breaking down your seemingly insurmountable tasks into smaller, far more manageable components. This strategic division significantly diminishes the feeling of being overwhelmed, that paralyzing sensation that can often stifle progress before it even begins. By breaking down the larger task, it becomes considerably easier to take that crucial first step. For example, if you're contemplating embarking on the exciting, yet daunting, journey of launching a new business venture, initiate the process by diligently researching the target market or brainstorming innovative product ideas. Resist the temptation to become bogged down in perfecting an entire comprehensive business plan right from the outset. By diligently focusing on these smaller, more achievable tasks, you effectively build positive momentum, a sense of accomplishment that propels you forward. This generated momentum, in turn, makes it significantly easier to confidently tackle the bigger, more complex challenges that inevitably lie ahead. Next, and equally important, is the establishment of crystal clear and immediately actionable goals for yourself. This clarity provides direction and purpose, ensuring that your efforts are focused and productive. The establishment of attainable and well-defined objectives is paramount, ensuring a precise understanding of required actions. This lucidity, therefore, diminishes procrastination, a common ailment typically arising from ambiguity regarding subsequent steps. Each incremental triumph significantly bolsters self-assurance and strengthens the propensity for proactive engagement. Furthermore, it is vital to nurture a perspective that prioritizes diligent application over the avoidance of imperfection. Errors are not only permissible but often represent the most precious occasions for personal growth. The pivotal aspect lies in deriving knowledge from these missteps and maintaining forward momentum. This principle forms a central doctrine of Stoicism, concentrating on elements within one's dominion while relinquishing control over those beyond it. While external results may elude direct influence, one maintains command over personal exertion and mindset regarding errors and setbacks. Embrace mistakes as stepping stones, guiding you toward refinement and resilience. Subsequently, consciously encourage oneself to transcend the limitations of one's comfort zone. The act of taking action frequently necessitates confronting inherent trepidations and uncertainties. It's crucial to internalize that courage does not signify the absence of apprehension, but rather the willful decision to proceed despite its presence. Each instance of directly confronting a challenge not only propels one closer to desired outcomes but also cultivates the intrinsic fortitude derived from the realization of one's capacity to navigate demanding circumstances. Consequently, by embracing challenges, you actively shape a more resilient and empowered version of yourself. These moments of bravery accumulate, forging a character adept at overcoming obstacles and achieving aspirations. By placing a premium on decisive action rather than striving for unattainable perfection, you resonate deeply with the Stoic philosophy, which champions practical wisdom as a guiding principle. This entails wholeheartedly accepting life in its present form, rather than yearning for an idealized version, and conscientiously taking daily steps to conduct your life in accordance with your deeply held principles and aspirations. Remember this crucial point: Purposeful action serves as the indispensable bridge connecting your current circumstances to the fulfilling life you earnestly desire. Therefore, resist the temptation to indefinitely postpone your endeavors while awaiting an elusive, perfect moment. Instead, actively cultivate that moment through each and every action you undertake, irrespective of how seemingly insignificant it may appear at first glance. Every step forward, no matter how small, contributes to the overall journey. Fear, undoubtedly, stands as one of the most formidable and pervasive forces shaping our human experience. Its insidious grip can effectively paralyze us, leaving us entrenched in stagnation, perpetually fearful of embracing calculated risks or venturing into the uncharted territory of the unknown. But consider this intriguing proposition: what if I were to suggest to you that fear, in and of itself, is not inherently the fundamental problem? The actual core issue lies in the subjective manner in which we individually interpret its presence and, subsequently, how we constructively respond to its influence. The vast majority of individuals instinctively perceive fear as an unequivocal signal to cease forward momentum immediately. However, what if, conversely, fear was actually functioning as a subtle yet crucial compass, effectively guiding you in precisely the correct direction? Imagine, if you will, that instead of instinctively shunning and circumventing it, you could effectively harness its raw energy and skillfully utilize it as potent fuel for accelerated personal growth and profound self-discovery. The Stoic philosophers, renowned for their profound insights into the human condition, possessed a remarkably unique and insightful perspective on the complex phenomenon of fear. Critically, they did not subscribe to the naive notion of completely eradicating it from one's emotional landscape. They pragmatically acknowledged that such an endeavor is fundamentally impossible, a pursuit destined for inevitable failure. Rather than succumbing to the paralyzing grip of fear, the ancient Stoics championed the idea of conquering it, mastering its influence over their lives. As Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor, profoundly wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." In essence, he articulated a powerful truth: fear is not an inherent property of the external world, but rather an internal reaction, a subjective interpretation of circumstances. It is a feeling, a sensation that we, ourselves, attach to specific situations. And feelings, being products of our minds, are inherently trainable, malleable, and subject to our conscious control. Therefore, you are presented with a choice. You can either passively allow fear to dictate your actions, surrendering to its restrictive influence, or you can actively harness it, transforming it into a potent tool to sharpen your focus, amplify your determination, and propel yourself courageously forward. So, the crucial question arises: how precisely can one transform this often debilitating emotion of fear into a powerful, driving force, rather than a formidable barrier that hinders progress? The initial, and perhaps most vital, step lies in consciously reframing the way you perceive fear, altering your fundamental understanding of its nature and purpose. Instead of instinctively viewing fear as a stop sign, a definitive impediment signaling the need to halt and retreat, endeavor to perceive it as a guide, a signpost pointing the way forward. Indeed, fear often serves as a reliable signal, indicating that you are on the cusp of undertaking something truly meaningful, something that lies just beyond the comfortable confines of your established routine, something that holds the potential for significant growth and transformation. When you experience that familiar surge of trepidation before a potentially life-altering opportunity, it is not your mind attempting to sabotage you, urging you to retreat back to the safety of the familiar. Instead, it is communicating to you that this particular moment carries significant weight, that it holds the potential to reshape your future trajectory. Therefore, instead of succumbing to the self-defeating declaration, "I'm scared," consciously reprogram your internal dialogue to proclaim, with resolute conviction, "I'm excited." It is important to understand that your brain, in its intricate workings, reacts to excitement and fear in remarkably similar ways, triggering comparable physiological responses. Consequently, by deliberately shifting your internal dialogue, by consciously choosing to interpret the sensation as excitement rather than fear, you can effectively transform apprehension into eager anticipation, unlocking a wellspring of motivation and courage. Next, to further cultivate your mastery over fear, it is beneficial to deliberately expose yourself to it in small, meticulously controlled doses. This incremental approach allows you to gradually desensitize yourself to the triggers of your fear, fostering a sense of competence and resilience. Cultivating mental resilience, much like developing physical prowess, necessitates dedicated and consistent training. If the prospect of public speaking fills you with dread, a strategic, phased approach can be exceptionally beneficial. Initiate your journey by practicing in the privacy of your own reflection, addressing yourself in a mirror. Subsequently, transition to practicing with a small, supportive group of friends or colleagues, a safe space to hone your skills. Gradually, as your confidence blossoms, extend your reach to a larger audience, perhaps starting with a small presentation at work or a community event. This measured, step-by-step exposure effectively rewires your neural pathways, transforming your perception of fear. Instead of viewing fear as an insurmountable obstacle to be avoided at all costs, you'll begin to perceive it as a challenge that you possess the capacity to overcome. The renowned philosopher Seneca astutely observed, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." This profound statement highlights a fundamental truth: the anxieties we conjure within our minds are frequently far more exaggerated and terrifying than the actual circumstances we eventually encounter. Often, the specter of what we fear looms larger and more menacing in our internal world than it ever does in the tangible realm of lived experience. Therefore, by confronting fear directly, head-on, and without flinching, you embark on a powerful journey of self-discovery. You begin to furnish yourself with irrefutable evidence that you are, in fact, capable of managing and navigating challenges far exceeding the limitations you once imposed upon yourself. This realization is transformative, empowering you to step beyond your comfort zone and embrace new opportunities with greater courage and conviction. Another exceedingly potent technique for bolstering mental fortitude is the practice of premeditatio malorum, a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy. This exercise involves deliberately and thoughtfully imagining worst-case scenarios. Rather than instinctively recoiling from your fears and attempting to suppress them, you intentionally confront them within the sanctuary of your own mind. Engage in a process of rigorous self-inquiry. Ask yourself, with unflinching honesty, what is the absolute worst conceivable outcome that could possibly transpire? How would I, with my unique skills and resources, effectively navigate and manage such a dire situation? Could I, with resilience and determination, survive such an ordeal? More often than not, after engaging in this thorough mental exercise, you'll arrive at the liberating realization that, even if the absolute worst does indeed come to pass, it is, ultimately, not the end of the world. This practice does not advocate dwelling on negativity or succumbing to morbid thoughts. Instead, it serves as a proactive method of mentally preparing yourself, fortifying your inner defenses so that fear gradually loses its debilitating grip on your thoughts and actions. Ultimately, decisive action stands as the ultimate antidote to fear. Procrastination and avoidance only serve to amplify anxiety, while taking even small steps towards your goals can significantly diminish its power. By actively engaging with your fears, you disrupt the cycle of anxiety and build momentum towards overcoming them. The more you delay, the more formidable fear becomes, a chilling testament to its insidious growth. However, when you summon the courage to take even the most minuscule step forward, fear, that once overwhelming force, begins to diminish, to shrink into insignificance. This applies to a myriad of situations, from making a challenging phone call, a task many dread, to embarking on a completely new venture, a step into the unknown, or simply putting yourself out there in a way you never have before, venturing beyond your comfort zone. The linchpin of success, the crucial element, is, unequivocally, movement. The ancient philosopher, Seneca, wisely penned the words, "It is not because things are difficult that we do not dare, but because we do not dare that they are difficult." These timeless words resonate with profound truth. Fear thrives on inaction, it feeds upon the paralysis of indecision. But, the very instant you initiate action, the moment you defy the urge to remain stagnant, you weaken its dominion over you. You chip away at its power, reclaiming control of your destiny. Fear, contrary to popular belief, is not your adversary, it is, in fact, a teacher, a guide pointing the way. It meticulously reveals the precise locations where your greatest opportunities for personal expansion and profound development reside. When you cultivate the skill of collaborating with fear, rather than perpetually battling against it, you transform into an unstoppable force, an individual capable of surmounting any obstacle. Instead of fleeing from discomfort, from those challenging situations that make you uneasy, lean into it, embrace it. Rather than endlessly waiting until you feel completely prepared, a state that may never arrive, take the leap, trust in your innate abilities, and trust yourself to navigate the complexities and figure things out as you progress along the journey. This is the Stoic philosophy in its purest form, not the complete absence of fear, an unrealistic expectation, but rather the mastery of it, the ability to control and utilize it to your advantage. And once you achieve this mastery, once you learn to harness the power of fear, there is absolutely no limit to what you can accomplish, no boundary to your potential. The world unfolds before you, ripe with possibilities. At the day's culmination, when all is said and done, your mind stands as either your greatest ally, providing unwavering support and encouragement, or your most formidable obstacle, a source of constant self-doubt and limitation. Choose wisely which role your mind will play. Harness its power for good and unlock your full potential. The limitations you perceive, those you truly believe in, are, in essence, self-imposed constructs, barriers you've consciously or unconsciously accepted. However, and this is crucial, they are not immutable realities. Indeed, you possess the inherent capacity to fundamentally reshape your thought patterns, to initiate courageous actions that propel you forward, and, ultimately, to shatter every obstacle that dares to impede your path. The Stoics, those ancient paragons of virtue and wisdom, diligently taught us that true inner strength is not cultivated through the avoidance of challenges, a passive retreat from adversity. Rather, it is forged in the crucible of confrontation, in resolutely facing those daunting trials with unwavering courage and profound wisdom. Therefore, embracing difficulty becomes the very cornerstone of our personal growth. Thus, as you confidently advance from this precise moment forward, deeply internalize these guiding principles, prioritize incremental progress over the elusive pursuit of unattainable perfection, choose decisive action over debilitating hesitation that paralyzes your potential, and, above all, cultivate unyielding resilience that triumphs over the insidious grip of fear. Remember this powerful triad as you navigate the complexities of life. If this particular video resonated deeply within you, striking a chord of understanding and inspiration, do not allow its message to simply fade away. Sustain the momentum. Immediately watch the next video thoughtfully curated for you on your screen, thereby continuing the vital process of sharpening your mindset and relentlessly unlocking your full, God-given potential. The journey of self-improvement is a continuous one. And if you haven't yet seized the opportunity, ensure you subscribe to Without Delay. Become an integral part of our vibrant community, a collective dedicated to the pursuit of inner strength and wisdom, where we steadfastly grow stronger, one invaluable lesson at a time. Join us, and together, we will ascend to new heights of personal fulfillment.